Namaste. Today I want to talk about discernment, and I always like to share what's going on with me right now. And this is my buzzword. I love language, linguistics. I love words until I don't love them anymore. Words will take you this far, and then we transcend them, happily leave them behind. But until such time, until these, without words, I would just sit here and stare at you. But discernment is one of the four yogic paths, and most of my background, as you know, or you might not know, is in Renzai Zen. Is the greatest majority of my spiritual studies, 33 years, was spent in Renzai Zen. And then before, but was specifically drawn to one specific school, Renzai. I had studied Zen with Alan Watts and Suzuki and other teachers previous. But I started out with Hinduism and Paramahamsa Yogananda, and I understand that he taught one of the four yogic paths, and I'm going to reiterate them today. It's the Kriya Yoga. Raja is also known as Raja Yoga, the Royal Yoga, and Paramahamsa Yogananda Self-Realization Fellowship is the Kriya. Kriya is energy, okay, and Raja is called the Royal Path because this particular yoga, like so many things, was reserved for royalty. We're really lucky that spiritual information, spiritual knowledge, and people willing to share this knowledge are more readily available now than it ever has been. Historically, it was very limited. It was privileged. But now there's a plethora of people, and you can go in shopping. Go out there and look and find someone that resonates with you. There's a lot of great ones. Favorites of mine always, I have to say, is Adyashanti. Just love him to pieces, and Vivekananda from Advaita Vedanta has been resonating with me more as I got exposed, as I came full circle and went back into Hinduism, in particular Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualism. But they also, this non-dualism that's been pretty much where I've been the last few years. Ever since my awakening experience, when I reconciled, when I realized, experienced non-duality, that this only one, all is one, all of us are one, all of us are fully aware, fully awake, full Buddhas that are just sleeping. Have to become aware, and your time will come. But I mentioned Kriya Yoga. And this one appealed to me the least, I guess because energy, and I was never, I was never an energetic sort. I was more of a less than energetic sort, although I was athletic. But I enjoyed distance swimming, distance biking, kind of in it for the long haul. So that the development of rhythms, and although energy is nothing else if not rhythms, it was the long, stretched out rhythms that appealed. But yogically, I mentioned Kriya or Raja. And then one that's really interesting, it went to do with what I was just alluding to, is Karma Yoga. Karma just means action. Okay, that's all it means. We have all kind of mixed up ideas. I laugh when I hear people talk about good karma or bad karma. Action is action. For reaction, the physical world will have a reaction. So you want to become karma free, action free. Actions that will generate a reaction. But you can transcend these physical limitations. It says every action causes a reaction. Well, maybe spiritual actions, they still might have a reaction, but it's maybe not demonstrable in the physical world. We're talking about etherical world now, maybe. But that's karma yoga, and it has to do with selfless service, selfless action. It's doing deeds in anonymity without the need for recognition or reward. Beautiful, beautiful path. Talk about invisible. Anonymity, you can't be more invisible than being anonymous, can you? Yeah. And to do things through your body, through your energy, through your physical energy, instead of electrical energy like Kriya, Chi. But just to do good for the sense of doing good. And this is by doing things for people, by our actions. Karma yoga is the second yogic path. And the third, bhakti. Bhakti means compassion. Bhakti is those that praise and worship. Bhakti is the one that a guru, a teacher, is so important, because it's through the worship, through the celebration, through the service, seva, through dedication to your spiritual teacher, your guru, and his organization, through selfless service, seva, to do chores around the ashram, to help your teacher, to love, to celebrate, to chant, to dance, to sing. And this green heart chakra, the green chakra, the green Buddha over there that you see, is the divine compassion. I always think of Guan Yin, Chinese name for feminine energy, because we kind of think of this devotion as a yin, whereas the feminine energy, whereas the karma yoga might perhaps be more yang, more masculine energy to do something. So to celebrate, to love, to worship, to serve, to love unconditionally. Beautiful, beautiful bhakti yoga. So there's the three. Again, I reiterate. Kriya or Raja yoga, karma yoga, bhakti yoga. And my path, jnana yoga. And that's what I'm talking about, discernment, because the key word for jnana yoga is discernment. Discernment is this particular yoga, if you become a jnana yogi, you're using your intellectual prowess. Your mind is a tool. And it's to practice discernment, to be able to take the world in bits and pieces and take all that myriad of information. It's just overwhelmed by information. so much. And again, I've stressed before, doesn't matter where this information is coming from. Could be as inane as a television commercial, a newspaper, a magazine, something someone said as an aside, something that you heard in passing. All these are sources of information that shouldn't be overlooked. You should be open. You shouldn't. This is non-judgmental information gleaming. Okay. Now here's what discernment, the process of discernment, because it doesn't take discernment to just accept, to be open to information 360 degrees, just in your spherical, in your aura, anything that penetrates your aura, anything that comes within your sphere. Pay attention. No judgment. There's no good, there's no bad. It's just like karma. Information is information, and it's what you do with it. Okay, so now you need to discern. Discern includes this process that I just love. Okay, discernment. I take all this myriad of this piles and piles of unlimited information, and I start sorting it. Okay. And I have all kinds of different criteria, and it probably, as the Spirit moves me, is what criteria that I use to sort this. You have to do something with it, okay? You just can't accumulate it because it's just, most of it needs to be discarded. Most information is in the trash can. Gotta go in the trash. But discernment means to start separating, okay? And I have different categories, but basically what I'm doing is like prospecting. It's like a miner. You know how you pan for gold? Gold is a heavy, sink to the bottom. And, the idea of panning for gold, I've never done it, but I want to do it. I mean, never physically gone out somewhere, and I'd love to find some gold, first of all, even a little bit. How precious would that be, I love gold, and I wear this Chinese gold, pure gold, as they say. Well, it's pure anyway. But I wear gold because gold resonates with me. So mining, prospecting, panning for gold. Discarding. So this is the sorting. This is how you start to sort, because the end game is to take all this information, unlimited information, and come up with a pile, and through the process of sorting, evaluating, discernment is what I'm talking about today, is to find information that is more, it appeals to you more. It seems like it has more possibility to learn from. It seems more like it would increase your base of knowledge, which is really important to my practice, is to increase my base of knowledge. Okay? Information. Okay. Sort it, pan it, mine it. Discernment, sorting. Okay? So I'm quick to discard. In fact, I practice every day discarding. I'm in the process of downsizing and getting ready to move into a smaller place, because I've had this big old house for too long, and it's just is more than I need. And so I'm looking for something that I want to downsize. I could live in here, this space, but I got upstairs and downstairs and a garage, So discernment, sorting this process. And now, I love to throw away, as I was saying, downsize. Throw this all away. And it was fun. I have to say, I enjoy collecting it. And it makes throwing it away that much more enjoyable. I collect it for the sake of finding something worthwhile. Not indiscriminate collection. I'm discriminate discernment. Okay, so here we collected this long process of sorting, which I find very, very entertaining. And now we have to refine our sorting. So this process starts over again. Now I had information. I stacked things that I gleaned, that I mined, that I panned for gold. I put them over here with knowledge, a class of worth. It's information that's worth knowing is what knowledge is. It will contribute to me in some way. Unknown at this point. I just recognize the value of it. So then I put over here. I happily throw this discard the useless information, which is the majority of it. More than 90%. But still, 10% of potential is quite a bit. So then I have this knowledge. And now I refine my discernment. I become more discerning. And I start evaluating, I start prospecting. I'm looking for the gold. I'm looking for the nuggets, okay? Looking for the gold. And the gold is the gold from wisdom, from knowledge, I gave it away. It's wisdom. So here's my 10% left over from everything that I've absorbed. And again, I love each step of this process because it means more acutely using this discernment. You have to notch it up a couple degrees or several degrees. So I'm looking for the wisdom that's in knowledge. So information to knowledge. Now, my pal, here's my goal. And this is probably less than 1% of the 10%. So it goes 90% discarded, and then another 9%. And if I'm lucky, that's really a good haul. Very successful mining process, separating the chaff, the wheat from the chaff. Discernment. So now what? I have this pot of gold, gold flakes, this nuggets of wisdom. Now what? Okay. So I searched, sorted, found. Now I want to utilize them. And again, discernment. How do I utilize them? Well, I find a way to store them. And this is where my library analogy, my library comparison comes in. Now I have to store them. And this is the librarian in me. The library in my library. And I have a little guy whose sole job is to, well, no, he's got two jobs. We'll get to his first job is now, okay, here's the knowledge. If I don't utilize it, if I don't store it, if it doesn't have any potential, if it's not going to benefit my spiritual well-being, it's not wisdom. So now I've located, sorted. I'm in the process. I got a little guy, and he's got that ladder that leans up against. Oh, I love that image. My library with all the books, and got a ladder that he climbs up, and he even has a little visor with a little clear, little clear green tinted visor. And he's old and decrepit, and he carefully climbs the stairs. And the stairs have a railing, okay? Because I'm considerate of this old guy. Who's me, anyway, okay? And take it up, and can just roll on wheels and just go anywhere. And I have my own Dewey Decimal System, okay? Because the next step is really important. It's one thing to gather wisdom, then you have to do something with store it so that it is useful, that you can access it. So my little librarian is busy putting everything everywhere. Okay. Then the Dewey Decimal System, my system of got to be able to find it. Have you ever stored something away for safekeeping and you forgot where it is? Okay, this is discernment again. Mindful storage. You want to be able to access it. And I actually, the next step of this accessing thing is don't sweat it. What the world has taught me many things, but one of the biggest lessons that's applicable to this process I'm talking about now is that I will need to know what I need to know when I need to know it. So my little library, my Dewey Decimal System, I don't have to worry about it. I just put it to task. I love to use the mind. This is why mind is such a useful tool, especially in my jhana yogic path. It is your tool. Discernment. And discernment is a process of the higher mind, hopefully. That's the goal anyway. And only my higher mind could do this task. So my little guy, my little librarian, he can go get the information. So sometimes there's a time lapse. Usually I know it immediately because he's pretty proficient. He's good at his job, okay? And it could be a she, but I just, I'm a little old man, and I just picture my librarian as a little old man. Because that's counterintuitive to most librarian would picture a female, right? So he can go get what I need when I need it. And meanwhile, I can relax. So sometimes I have awkward pauses, but that's the beauty of it. And I just say, oh, well, I don't need to know it. Obviously, it's obvious to me that if it's not readily at my fingertips, if it just doesn't flow out of my mouth, I don't need to know it right now. I don't need to use it. I'm off task. I need to adjust. I need to discern. So that's my path, the jhana yogic path of discernment. Thank you, and namaste, and thank you, librarian.